Good evening, Mayor. Thank you very much for your time. I want to ask you first, what did you think the first time you saw that video?
We don't condone the fact that the person was naked and that he was dragged out of the shack, but I need to say our officials, every time when they move onto a site, they make their own videos, and moments before they move into that structure, that said person did have clothes on. And my taking is that to allow us to do a full-scale investigation. That investigation is already underway. We have appointed a team of people to do the investigation, to scan the videos taken by the law enforcement officers of the city of Cape Town, and that will unravel step by step what the officers have done, what happened. But the said person was picked up on site, was picked up that he initially was not in the structure, and he was standing at the previous structure, moved into that structure, and when officers move in, and when he stands in the doorway, and I do have the pictures right here in front of me, he had clothes on, and when the officers moved into the structure, he eventually did not have clothes on, and that prompted the officers to get him out of the structure. But be as it may, it still do not warrant the fact that they did not make an attempt to close the person. And I want to agree with that, but let the investigation show us exactly what happened.
So suggesting perhaps that he took his clothes off as a tactic, is that what you're saying could be part of the story?
Exactly what I'm saying. I said it to other news agencies whole afternoon already. It seems to me from the preliminary investigation done by the city, and I said whole afternoon with my officials, to scan the video footages of the city taken by the officers of the city of Cape Town. That gives a completely different account of what precisely happened there, despite the latter part of the video footage, and that is the naked part.
Okay, I hear you, but, you know, tactic or not, and the investigation hopefully will uncover that. This man was completely humiliated, pushed around by police. You can clearly see in the video that he was trying to get away, and he was completely humiliated in front of his entire community. There's been an enormous reaction from the Human Rights Commission. They say there's simply no excuse. What is your response to them? They don't care about the circumstances. There is no excuse for the way this man was treated. Let
me say to you, it is common in many of the raids, many of the structures that is illegal, that needs to be broken down, that people stand in front of the structure naked. It is not the first incident. I do not believe it will be the last incident. And look, our officers, they act under the very most difficult of circumstances. And maybe under these circumstances as well, they had to make split decisions and that sort of thing. But I think what prompted the officers to act in that manner, and I do not want to exaggerate their actions or their decisions and that sort of thing, but they did pick up the man as that it is the person that was roaming around on the site with his clothes on, and eventually he was naked.
So you've clearly spoken to the police, and you seem to have a fair amount of sympathy for the police. You say this is a common tactic. I'm just wondering if you've paid as much attention to the man and watching the clip of him. Wait, sorry, let me just finish. What I want to know is, have you spoken to Bulelani Qolani? Have you got his side of the story? Because you've clearly spoken to the police.
That is the role of the investigators. It's not my role. That's the role of the investigation. I think let us allow the investigators to do what they need to do.
So you're getting this second hand from someone who's telling you what the police told them. Is that right?
No, definitely not. I'm talking to you about what I've seen on the videos, what I've seen on the pictures. That is what I'm telling you. That is a different account of affairs.
So who told you that he was closed? Did you?
What the Human Rights Commission are saying, that is what our pictures, what our video footages are showing of what really happened yesterday afternoon. Although I'm saying I do not condone the fact that the man was dragged out naked out of the shack or out of the structure.
I hear you. I hear you. You say, though, that it's a common tactic, which suggests that it's a problem for people trying to do evictions. What I want to know is, why was this eviction happening in the first place? My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that evictions are not meant to happen during lockdown.
point is, it is news. Those structures get broken down almost every week after week. Fact of the matter is, that site is earmarked for proper housing development in the future. And the point is to allow people to go and to put up the necessary structures. We do have a court order against any erection of structures on that particular site. It is not old structures. It is not structures that was there a month or two ago. It is brand new structures. That is what we guard against, and that is the reason why we break down the brand new structures, and that is what the officers have done.
All right. So are you saying that evictions are allowed during the lockdown?
It's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that, look, we can allow people to put up structures all over the show, all over, unabated, and no one can say anything about that. Fact of the matter, what we are saying, we respect the measures, but those structures were structures that was not old structures. It was brand new structures, and at the end of the day, I just want to caution to say, what the city of Cape Town have done, that is what's happening across the country. That is not evident to the city alone. Other provinces are doing exactly the same.
I just want you to answer my question, though, Mr. Mayor.
Are doing versus what the city of Cape Town are doing.
The reality is, there is this very damning footage of a naked man, no matter the circumstances, being roughed around by police, being pulled around, and it is absolutely appalling. And in fact, the Social Justice Coalition says this is not the first poor person to have been treated so inhumanely by police in Cape Town. They say it's systemic, and it's a criminalisation, essentially, of poverty in your city. What do you say to the many people this evening who are saying this is not a one-off? This is how poor people are treated in Cape Town. No,
that is not a common act against poor people, and I think I want to disagree with your statement. Fact of the matter is that that person. I am of the opinion that to some extent it was a stage act. I think it was to some extent deliberately done to put the city of Cape Town in a very, very bad light. And that is the footages that gets portrayed to the outside world.
Sorry, I missed that. Did you say that? I'm so sorry, Mr. Mayor. I missed what you just said. I just missed what you said. Are you suggesting that he's doing this to make you look bad?
Absolutely.
So this man who says he's a Christian man, who was pulled and dragged around naked, you're saying he's actually in the wrong?
People can say anything on television. People can stage anything. What I am telling you is what the city of Cape Town's in-house video footages are showing. They show some portions of the running up to that incident, which paint a kind of a different picture.
Right.
While I'm still saying I don't condone the nakedness and the fact that he was dragged out of his structure naked. That I disagree with.
All right. I'd like you to still answer the question, however, because the Social Justice Coalition is saying this is not the first time. If we look at what happened at Strandfontein, there were so many complaints, so much criticism around the way people were being held at that facility that eventually it had to be shut down. So suggestion really that this is not the first time, that there are endemic problems here.
Let me say to you, the Strandfontein incident was a completely different incident. You can't compare the two. I still believe with regard to Strandfontein, it was the best homeless facility in the country at the time. Politics played a major role in getting that structure to be closed down. And at the end of the day, we need to compare apples with apples. This one in Khayelitsha yesterday, a completely different incident. And at the end,
but aren't you suggesting politics are behind both these incidents?
Yes, listen, I think what we need to say is wait for the final verdict of the investigators. And let me say to you, you're using the name of the Social Justice Coalition. Let me say to you, what is the role of Social Justice Coalition in this?
Well, the Human Rights Commission is also very angry about it. They're not the only group. What I want to ask you is, how is the city looking after Bulelani Qolani tonight, or are you not sure?
I talked to the Human Rights Commission about Bulelani. I reached an agreement with Reverend Nissen around the issue around Bulelani. Fact of the matter is, Bulelani will also have to come clean with regard to his role, if it was deliberate or not.
Sorry, did you say how the city is looking after him tonight?
No, it's not what I'm saying. I don't think you're listening to me.
No, I'm just not sure you answered my question, in fact, because I asked if the city is looking after him tonight. Is he being looked after by someone else?
I talked about his circumstances to the Human Rights Commission. I had 2 discussions today about Bulelani with Reverend Nissen.
Okay. And is he being looked after tonight, and by whom?
Lady, you want to go into the specifics.
No, I'm just asking if this man is being looked after tonight.
The fact of the matter is that we reached an agreement that I will address Bulelani, I will address him, and that address between us is arranged by the Human Rights Commission as we speak.
All right. And where is he tonight?
Come again?
Where is he tonight?
No, I don't know where he is tonight. Maybe with friends, maybe at his other house. Okay. Maybe that structure was not his structure. My taking is that structure was not his structure.
Thank you very much. Cape Town Mayor Dan Plato responding there to the eviction of a naked man from his house.